Welcome back to Preparing for the Collapse Radio. If you're listening to this, you already know that preparation is it's so much more than just storing food.
It absolutely is. It's about mastering the skills, those subtle skills that really guarantee livability when our very complex infrastructure decides to take a break.
Exactly. And we spend so much time and frankly money on active systems.
Yeah.
Generators, firewood, propane heaters.
Oh, that's stuff that needs fuel. Today, we're going to focus on something different. We're going to look at the most fundamental layer of resilience, passive heat management.
Right. So the question is, how do you keep your home livable when the power grid goes down in a deep winter storm and you have zero fuel left?
And for that, we're turning to author Spiritwalker, specifically his article, Beyond the Firewood, Low-Tech, No-Power Ways to Keep Your Home Livable.
And his whole premise is really a shift in mindset, isn't it?
It is. He argues that true resilience isn't about constantly creating new heat. It's about passive retention. It's a total reframe.
So you stop seeing your home as this leaky box you're trying to warm up?
And you start seeing it as a thermal battery, something you charge up and then seal tight against the cold. The goal is mastering these zero-power strategies to maximize every single calorie of warmth you have.
Okay, so let's get into it. The absolute foundation, Spiritwalker's priority one, air sealing.
This is it. If you skip this, everything else is, it's basically pointless.
It seems so simple, though.
It's the single highest return activity you can do. We all focus on insulation, the R value of our walls.
Sure.
But the biggest heat loss is actually convection. It's air infiltration.
Refs. Plain and simple.
Exactly. Warm air leaking out and freezing air being sucked right back in to replace it. So Spiritwalker's point is you have to trap the heat you already have, and that includes your own body heat before you do anything else.
And the numbers on this are they're startling. I've seen estimates that up to 40% of a home's heat can be lost just through air leaks.
40%. So if you just fix that, you've already won half the battle.
Yeah. And what I love about his wisdom here is that the solutions are low cost. They use materials almost everyone just has lying around.
Take the classic DIY draft snake. We've all seen them.
Right. Roll up a towel.
But he suggests stuffing it with dense materials. Think dried beans, rice, even sand.
Why the extra weight? Is it just to hold it in place?
That's part of it, for sure, especially by a door that gets used. But the weight also lets you really compress it into the threshold. It makes a denser, tighter barrier. And a tighter seal means less air movement.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, here's one I thought was just genius, the towel tactic, but for interior doors.
Ah, yes. For blocking off those unused cold zones.
He says to take a towel, get it slightly wet, wring it out really well, and then lay it across the threshold of that unused door.
And the physics of this is just fascinating. Because as that damp towel dries, the fibers, they contract. They stiffen up.
It shrinks.
It shrinks into place, creating a much, much tighter seal than any dry cloth ever could. It's basically a perfect temporary zero-cost weather strip.
That's incredible. Okay, what about windows? Because they're just thermal holes in our walls.
Huge thermal holes. So for the drafts around the edges, where the sash meets the frame, he suggests things you can remove later, like rope caulk or even wide painter's tape.
A temporary fix.
Exactly. But for the glass itself, the best low-tech insulator is bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap? Really?
It sounds flimsy, I know, but it is shockingly effective. You just cut it to fit the pane, mist the glass with a little water, and press it on.
Well, water holds it.
Surface tension.
Yeah.
Just sticks right on there. And the mechanism is simple. All of those little bubbles are just trapped pockets of still air. And still air is a fantastic insulator.
So it's not reflecting heat, it's just stopping the transfer.
It's stopping conduction right through the glass. Now, it won't be as good as a high-end window, but it still lets diffuse light in, and it costs basically nothing.
Right.
You do have to watch for condensation, though. Too much moisture trapped there can reduce the effect.
That attention to detail is key. And before we move on, his last air sealing tip is maybe the most important.
The interior doors. Block them off.
Yes.
This is where you get instant efficiency. You block off unused rooms, hallways, especially places with high ceilings. You are drastically reducing the cubic volume of air you have to keep warm.
You shrink your world to save your energy. If you cut the volume of air, you're heating in half.
You've just cut your heating needs in half. It's that direct.
Which is the perfect transition into strategy 2, the room within a room approach, taking that shrinkage concept to its extreme.
This is what he calls the strategic zone defense. In a grid-down scenario, You cannot and you should not even try to heat your whole house.
No way.
You have to pick a core zone.
Yeah.
The smallest interior room you've got. A pantry, a big closet, a small bedroom in the middle of the house.
Somewhere with the fewest exterior walls possible.
Right. Because every exterior wall is a surface radiating your precious heat out into the freezing cold. And ideally, this core zone should have windows facing south if you're in the northern hemisphere.
And we'll get to why that's so important in a minute. But the real magic here is the internal insulation, the insulation tents and blanket walls.
Okay, so for the tent, you're inside your core zone already. Now you suspend blankets or quilts, even tarps, from the ceiling to create an even smaller microclimate inside that room.
Like a tent inside a room.
Exactly. And it's not just about shrinking the air volume again. The fabric itself is insulation. It traps air and reflects your body heat back down at you.
Then you add the blanket wall.
You complement the tent by hanging heavy blankets over the doorway of that room, and critically, over the inside of any windows in that room.
Could create another one of those insulating air pockets.
Yes, between the blanket and the cold glass. That trapped air is always the goal.
So trapping heat is one thing, but storing it is another, which brings us to thermal mass.
And this is what separates just surviving one cold night from having, sustained livability. Spiritwalker talks about using large, durable containers. Think gallon jugs, buckets.
Filled with what?
Hot water. If you can safely heat water on a camp stove or something, you fill these containers and you bring them inside your tented core zone.
So let's break that down. Why water?
It's because water has a really high specific heat capacity. That just means it can absorb and store a huge amount of heat energy.
It holds the heat for a long time.
For a very long time. And it releases it slowly as radiant heat for hours after your stove is off. It becomes a radiant thermal battery, regulating the temperature all night. That's the difference between shivering and actually getting some rest.
That's the difference right there. Okay, strategy 3. Let's talk about the ultimate zero-cost energy source. The sun. Harnessing passive solar gain.
This is your best friend during the daytime. Even on a cloudy day, there's still diffuse solar radiation. On a clear day, the sun is a furnace.
Spiritwalker calls this the oven effect, and he says you have to be militant about it.
You do. As soon as the sun is up, you open every single south-facing curtain, blind, shutter. Let that sunlight stream into your core zone.
And he also points out that the surfaces inside matter a lot.
Oh, profoundly. If that sunlight hits dark tile or a stone floor or even just a dark-colored rug you've put down, those surfaces absorb that energy. They become mini thermal batteries, charging up all day long.
But, and this is the part people mess up, there is a non-negotiable companion step. Minimizing the nighttime loss, the drawbridge effect, as you called it.
A drawbridge has to go up with discipline. The very moment the sun is off those windows, you immediately close and seal everything. The blankets, the curtains, all of it.
Because glass is just a highway for heat to escape.
The fastest. If you leave those curtains open for even 30 minutes after sunset, all the heat you spent the day collecting just radiates right back out into the night sky.
So the whole strategy depends on collection, then immediate total containment.
It's a system.
Yeah.
And Spiritwalker adds one more little trick for anyone who might have a tiny bit of power from a small solar panel or a battery pack.
The ceiling fan.
The ceiling fan reversal. Run it on its lowest possible speed in reverse, so clockwise.
And that's because warm air rises.
It rises, and it pools uselessly at the ceiling. Running the fan in reverse gently pushes that warm air back down the walls and into your living space where you need it. It maximizes every bit of warmth you have.
It's incredible when you put it all together, the air sealing, the zone defense, the solar management. It all comes back to Spiritwalker's core idea.
It's not about expensive gear.
No,
Yeah.
It's about applying what he calls forgotten wisdom. It's about seeing your home with new eyes. A damp towel is a weather strip. A dark reg is a solar collector. A closet becomes a sanctuary.
He really shows that the path to autonomy, to livability, it's paved with these simple passive techniques. Mastering this stuff means you dramatically reduce your reliance on fuel.
And for anyone listening who wants to go deeper on this, Spiritwalker runs the Forgotten Wisdom blog.
It's an amazing resource. He covers everything from homesteading and off-grid living to long-term food security. And all of his curated books and products are on the Nomadic Enterprises marketplace. It's a great hub.
And look, the knowledge we've covered today is just one small piece of the bigger picture he provides. We've talked about what to do after the lights go out.
But real preparation is about getting the knowledge now. If you commit to mastering these methods, your chances of not just surviving but being comfortable go way, way up. That's peace of mind.
And if you are ready to really commit to that full spectrum of knowledge that author Spiritwalker provides, we have some fantastic news.
His comprehensive Preparing for the Collapse book series, which covers all these skills and hundreds more, is on sale right now.
This is your chance to get the definitive library on preparedness and resilience. It's about moving from just having supplies to actually mastering the skills.
Don't wait for the emergency to realize you needed the instruction manual.
Exactly. You can find the direct link to purchase the Preparing for the Collapse book series by author Spiritwalker right in the description for this discussion. Secure your knowledge base today.
We've shown you how to build a thermal fortress, how to shrink your living space, and how to charge it all using the sun.
So, as we wrap up, here's a final thought for you. Thinking about your own home right now. What's the single biggest, most obvious air leak you've just been ignoring? And what simple thing, a sock, a piece of cardboard, an old blanket, could you use in the next 5 minutes to turn that vulnerability into your first piece of proven passive resilience?
The collapse may be unpredictable, but your preparation doesn't have to be.
Stay warm and stay prepared.